Good morning to those in the sanctuary as well as everyone who is online. Welcome to Renaissance Unity. We're so glad that you're joining us. We're going to start off with a song that's called Use Me, which I think all of you all know. And if you don't, just listen intently and you will know it. Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. I used to think God was the sun, God is the sun, but God's so much more than the earth and the stars or all of creation. God is creator, all in all, needing us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Command my hands, what must they do? Command my life, it's here for you. God is the life that heals all creation. God is creator, makes all things new, and God needs us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. God needs us to shine its light. God needs us to shine its light. God needs us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Thank you.
Yeah, Brenda.
Thank you, Brenda. Thank you, Donna, Roy, Ed. One of my favorite songs, you probably heard me singing up here in the front row, all the way back there. So good morning. I am Connie Carapello, and welcome to Renaissance Unity. Thank you for being with us here today, those of you here in the sanctuary in person and those of you online. Reverend David Byerly is not able to be with us today. He's a little under the weather, and obviously Jeannie Webster as well. So let's just send them some healing blessings. And we know that they are already healed. And also, we are going to be blessed to have Reverend Sandra Bishop with us today, and we look forward to being inspired by her message and her wisdom. We want each one here this morning to know that unity is a positive, practical, progressive approach to spirituality. Our teachings are based on the teachings of Jesus and the power of prayer, but it is also true that here at Unity, we honor the universal truths in all religions, explore these universal truths, and we respect each individual's right to choose their own spiritual path. So you are welcome here, whatever spiritual path you are on. So please let's affirm together our first principle, which we know to be a universal truth of reality. Together, there is only one presence and one power in our lives and in the universe, God, the good, omnipotence. And we'll sing this together. And let's say our community affirmation together. We are a dynamic fellowship centered in the active spiritual practice of love, truth, gratitude, and service to others. And I'd like to ask if there is anyone here for the first time. You want to raise your hand if you're here for the first time? Okay, well, welcome to everyone again here. And if you are online and you'd like to receive our weekly newsletter, please enter your email address into the comments section if you are joining by Facebook, and in the chat section if you are joining by YouTube, and you'll be added to our mailing list. And now please join me as we affirm together our mission statement. Transforming lives through a consciousness of love. And now, as you come within, let's just come into our heart space and listen to the words of our vision statement. Our vision is an inclusive world where minds, hearts, and hands are connected in raising the global consciousness of love. And I now would like to invite up our prayer chaplain, Mary Sherman, to read our daily word.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
The daily word is about grace. I walk in grace and peace today. I give thanks for the activity of God in my life that appears as grace. This divine gift manifests as the beauty of the world and the people in it, and as a comforting presence of God with and around me each day. I do not have to do anything to earn this grace, because it does not result from my attitude or actions. It flows from the infinite love of God within every person and surrounding every circumstance. It is the indwelling presence that sustains me in challenging times and lifts me in good times. I accept grace with gratitude when I have stumbled along life's path and received unexpected blessings. This boundless love fills my heart with bliss and peace. I live in the presence of infinite love, believing each unfolding event in my life is leading me to my highest good. My grace is sufficient for you. 2 Corinthians.
We're going to be preparing for our meditation, so this is the song before the meditation. I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith. And I am stronger every moment, every day. My mind is willing and my heart is open wide. I trust my instincts and let Spirit be my guide. I vow to live a life that's real and pure and free. As I continue walking in this mystery, I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith. And I am stronger every moment, every day. There may be roadblocks in my way, but I can break them through a higher path each day. And now I know that what I thought was safe and sound was only habit and regret that held me down. I will surrender to my highest, greatest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith. And I am stronger every moment, every day. I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith. And I am stronger every moment, every day. And I am kinder every moment, every day. And I am loving every moment, every day. And I'll surrender every moment, every day.
So we take a collective inhale. I invite you to breathe with your entire body. As you inhale, feel it as if You are breathing through every cell of your being. Pulling energy up from this wonderful earth. Energy that sustains and nourishes us. As we exhale, we are releasing that which does not. Bring your attention to the top of your head, what we call your crown chakra. Feel it as your awareness lights on it. Pulling in energy. Let's float that down into our hearts. Let's float it down into our chakra for wisdom. It's right above your navel. Let's feel that as we open our hearts and our minds to the wonderful movement of spirit. There is but one power and one presence. God the good, God the omnipotent. This power breathes you. It breathes me. It breathes each and every soul on this planet. It is what sustains all things. It moves, it animates, it beats, it loves all things. In this awareness, recognize yourself as an isness in the allness that is God. Center in the divine consciousness. You are one with all that is. As you breathe in this awareness, as you sit in this awareness, let all things just fall that doesn't match with this, just let it fall off of you. Just like the water does as you stand in the shower. Let it fall away. Any anger, any fault, any blame, any ideas that you are not perfect, we let them fall. What remains is gratitude. As you breathe in the divinity that you are. Don't worry that you can't get there. It just says that one mind corrected affects all minds. As I stand in this awareness of God's allness, I know that right where you are, God, those places where we can't quite reach that, let's offer them up in this moment now. God, heal thy my unbelief. There is nothing that you need to hold on to. Show me. We're just releasing and letting go. And as we let go, we just give thanks. We give thanks that it is done here and now. As we come back into the awareness of this now moment, we can wiggle our hands. These hands are God's hands. Wiggle our feet. These feet are God's feet. The only activity is God. So as we come back into this space, this now moment, God, breathe in this wonderful newness. God. Isn't that awesome? All right. I am so grateful. So grateful, so grateful. Hi. Okay, that threw me for a loop. Wonderful. Greetings, everyone. David, so good to see you. It's so amazing to see each and every one of you, and I'm so glad that I get a chance to talk to you today. You know, there's so many things that have gone on and that have happened since the last time I've seen you. Blessed, right? Oh my goodness. And each and every one of you look like you've been blessed. I am so happy to be able to talk to you today. I got so much on my mind, and so I want to tell you a little bit about my journey. First, I want to tell y'all about, look, me. I got a new look, right? So since the last time I've seen you guys, I've gone vegan. I decided that I was not going to, you know, do my little flat iron in my hair anymore. You know, and because I went vegan, there's some weight that's fallen off of me. That's always a good thing. And I'm now a yoga instructor, and so I'm doing all of that. And it is amazing to me, this thing of recognizing movement as prayer. Ooh, so good, so good. So all of that is part of, you know, what now informs also my consciousness. And I love how it seems as though all this stuff, it just seems like it's always been percolating someplace in my system. And until it actually gets there, you're just like, oh, this is where this came from. This is this part that was supposed to fit. And so now I get to talk to you guys about some different stuff. So let me tell you about what happened to me one time, and I hope this doesn't trigger anybody. It's just, we're taking a, you know how I like to do. We're taking a little path wherever we go. So years ago, I was driving this, I was working this job and driving a, what was that car called? Not that it matters, but some kind of yucky Nova. That's what it was. A Nova, green, yucky, kind of. And and it has all one seat, right? The car does. And so this particular day, I was running late for work, like usual, running late for work. And I run out of the house and I'm calling my German Shepherd, so he can come in. And he's not coming. He's not complying. I'm just calling him, honey, get in here. And he's like, in the garage and sniffing around. And I'm like, get in here. So, usually he's right on Johnny on the spot. But today, that particular day, he was not. So finally, when I changed the tone of my voice and everything, he finally comes running. And I go out there, I jump in the car. I remember opening the door and throwing the stuff on the seat all in one fell swoop as I stuck the key in the ignition, turned it on. Now I'm about to back out and I hit a bump. I felt a bump and I'm thinking, what the heck was that? My dog had chased something up under my car. And as I looked over the dashboard as I was pulling back, I saw it twitching, laying there. Oh my God, I started screaming and crying and I was just, my friend comes running out and, he's telling me, don't worry about it. I'll take care of this. Go, go, go. And as I'm driving, I'm still crying and I'm praying and I'm just going through this whole thing and I'm talking to God and I'm just like, I got tears and snot everywhere. And all of a sudden I heard this voice and it said, don't wax yourself. Wax yourself. That's what I thought. Who says that? Don't wax yourself. You can neither give life nor take it. That is me. Donna, I stopped the car. I was like, what the? What? So now I'm no longer focused on what happened. Now who said that? Wax yourself. And then I'm perplexed. What does wax yourself mean? So now I'm driving on and I'm just kind of like flabbergasted. I'm just like, what is that? The concept didn't dawn on me, for a while. I started thinking about what does it mean to wax and how you put on layers of wax and wax and wax. I must have thought maybe I was thinking that I was so important that I made that much of a difference that I could affect something. So fast forward later, I remember coming or encountering what is called the Bhagavad Gita. You guys familiar with that book? When I opened it up and I started thinking about this conversation that happened between Krishna and Arjuna, I started thinking about how often we get ourselves confused about our own reality. Wax yourself. As the conversation goes back and forth, one of the things that I noticed is that when we get caught in this idea of, what I do or who I am. He said at some point in the book, and this is years ago that I've been reading it, but it's kind of been coming to me, especially since I've been doing this yoga, it's kind of been coming back and it's, kind of inserting itself into the process. And it started saying, this idea that, you know, this you that you are has been a baby. It's been an adolescent, a teenager, it's been an adult, it's gotten to be an old person, and then it says, and then you get to be another body. And I thought to myself, we have this idea that this body is who we are. How many ways do we hear this all the time? We think that this thing is us. Nice as it may be, wonderful as it may have served you, it's not you. Could it be that this is all an illusion? That made me want to break into song like some, you know, I just have to tell y'all what comes up as I'm saying this, Gladys Knight. Could it be that it was all so simple, right? Could it be that all of this that we're thinking, this clinging, this holding on to this body is because we think that this is what we are, who we are, as we are? He says that many people have been who you believe you are, right? You are always, you are eternal, that which is you, right? That which is Brenda. It may be under a different name. You could have been Queen of Sheba and might turn into something else later on, but this consciousness that is you doesn't just reside in what you think you are today. Don't you love that? I mean, when you think about it from that perspective, and then he says, so we do what it is that we do. There was a story, and I know, y'all, I looked for this. I kind of did a little search, and I kept trying to think, because I read stories, I hear stories so much, and sometimes I forget the name of the story. So if you know what the story is as I tell it, please tell me the name of it so I can find it. There was a warrior, samurai warrior something, whose teacher, whose master had been killed. And it was his job to go and avenge this life. And so he goes out and he searches all over looking for the person that he is supposed to avenge. And when he finally finds him, he realizes that he had anger in his own being. And so since he had anger in his own being, his motives were not correct. And so he had to turn around and go back and work on his motives again. Now, when I started thinking about this, it's this idea that we get caught up in our emotional stuff. And don't get me wrong, because I know, I always say to folks, honor your emotions, all of this. But when I read the Bhagavad Gita, it is that I need to move beyond or outside of these emotions. If I get emotionally trapped or caught up in my beingness, my isness, whether I have or have not, he says that a rock should just be just as important as a piece of gold. And the moment we get caught up in whether I win or lose, or the indifference, the right or wrong, all of this stuff, if I get caught up in those things, we call it cravings or aversions. When you get caught up in that stuff, now you have entered into this sense consciousness, and that is not ultimately where we want to be. We're trying to free ourselves from that. If you want to step into your God self, then that means we free ourselves from the cravings or the aversions. Isn't that something? But that's not what our society teaches us, is it? I mean, we attach ourselves to stuff. Whether it's a body, whether it's a title, whether it's whatever it may be, we attach ourselves to stuff and be like, still like it's mine, right? We still get caught up there. And And to some extent, we've got to figure out how to get off the merry-go-round, how to get off of the roller coaster, to recognize the wonderment in all of life. I mean, if you think about it from that standpoint of view, if we're thinking that how do I get to the wonderfulness of all of life, but if we're judging it, can we get there? I mean, here's the thing. So I, Vivian told me this morning, she was like, man, there's so much that is gone on, so many things. This morning I go out, no, last night, I shouldn't say this morning. Last night I look out and I see my garage is up and I think, what? I close that garage and I hit the button, right, to close it back and I hear all this noise. My doggone garage door is like this now. It's leaning to the side. And I thought, what the heck? So this morning, needless to say, I couldn't get my car out. And so I thought, okay, all is well. All is well, right? This is my refrain all the time. All is well. Because what I know is all is absolutely well. Is that my necklace making this noise? What I know is all is always well. And so if I get caught up in the appearance, I miss the real blessings of the moment. So whether we're talking about the wonderful lessons of Krishna, and I don't know, when we read that tale, it's amazing to me. Because when I look back at it, I saw that the real debate was going on because this is two families that are fighting. We're fighting our own family, folks. And so the question is to fight or not to fight? What do I do with this? And so when we start to think about how we get caught up in the stuff, we miss the real lesson of all this. You guys, so as I come to this awareness about what goes on in our thinking, we've been sold a real bag of goods. We've been told that our worth is externalized, but it's only because we have not recognized ourselves as a soul. My experience is my experience. It is no less valuable than anybody else's experience. When we try to take one experience off and hold it up as if it is over and above something else, then we have now put ourselves at the effect end of something. We have put ourselves into the material end of something. We have stopped seeing that all life has value. And so how do we then reclaim this awareness that all things have value? Whether it's a bug or a person or an animal, whatever it might be, it has value. All on the spectrum has value. All have something to give and something to offer. They have value. But that isn't all that they are. It isn't the totality of what is. And so when we get caught up in the stuff, we miss part of the point. So when I think about this thing called God, and there is this, how do I want to put it? We seem to get caught up in that we are somehow going to please God by doing what we perceive as good. I mean, this goes into us, we police other people. You know that, right? Because we think that we're good and somehow everybody else is bad. I mean, do you guys do that? People in traffic and you want to tell them how to drive? On the airplane, people who get up before the plane is fully stopped. Do you tell them it's not time yet, sit down? Where in your life are you policing other people, other bodies, as if they don't know? You do it always? Is that what you said? And the truth shall set us free, right? And so it does. But when we get caught up in this thing that God will only like us if we do what we perceive to be right, Krishna said it is the activity, not the thought that you're bringing to the activity. Do the activity that is before you to do out of a sense of duty. Now, it's funny because when I read that, I thought to myself, like, let me tell you what this says. Let me tell you what this says. Part of what it says is that Judas had an activity to do. You guys know who Judas was? He had an activity, something that he was supposed to do. We judge it. We judge it. We judge it. We judge it because it was wrong, right? But then that would mean that the crucifixion and the resurrection couldn't happen if he hadn't played his part. I'm not trying to tell you. What to do. But what I am trying to say is don't get trapped by thinking that you already know how this is all supposed to play out. Do what is before you to do. I tell you, that story is, I wish I could do justice to it because it is such a beautiful, like, tippy-toe through our thinking and how we see the world, our place in it. And this is something that for each and every one of us, we bring ourselves to it, our own convictions, our own concerns. We get to check ourselves according to what it is that we find for us, not policing somebody else. And so all of this becomes about, how do I show up and do what is mine to do? When I'm telling you that life is caught up with me, all of a sudden I find myself doing yoga and rolling around on the floor. Life catches up. And then all of a sudden, all the pieces start to make sense. Who knew? And yet there is more to come. I'm in that and yet moment, and yet something else is to occur. So don't get dismayed by the things that are going on. Sometimes all the things that are going on, we could talk about karma, we can talk about an outcome, we can talk about the things that go forward. But recognize too, this is all an illusion anyway. You are not your body. You are free. I remain, you remain as God created you. Course in Miracles, all day long, right? You are not your body. You are free. Whew. What does that mean? What does that mean? Does that solve the aches and pains? Yoga might, right? Veganism might. A changing in the mindset might. Sometimes we need to let loose. But all these things, as we start to understand and know them, you are not your body. If you are not your body, that means that everybody else you encounter is not their body either. And sometimes if we don't show up and do what it is ours to do, it does not mean that it will not happen. I tell you, if it hadn't been me, it would have been somebody else. It would have, because God will not be denied. This force, this energy, this power that is God will not be denied. It's like, so as we go out and we go forth in this consciousness, it's wonderful that we can now see that we are just playing a part. Hold it loosely, not tightly. Hold it loosely. Things will come, things will go. That's what Krishna said. All of this stuff, like the mist, it'll come and it'll go. Everything changes. Nothing is permanent. Have no cravings, have no aversions. Rise above all of that. So then you can enjoy. You can enjoy and do what's yours to do. I tell you, the jig is up. I can no longer be a good girl. That ship has sailed. I might as well just reconcile myself to who I am. Y'all too. Thank you. I know I've gone over my time, but thank you for being here. Amen.
You have freed me. What would I do if I knew that I could not fail? If I believed the wind always filled up my sail, how far would I go? What would I achieve? Trusting the hero in me. If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge where fools and dreamers dare to tread, and never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What if all we were meant to do were secretly dream? What would you do if you knew you could have anything? Like the mighty oak sleeps in the heart of a seed, and the miracles are inside you and me. If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge where fools and dreamers dare to tread, and never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I refuse to listen to the voice of fear? Would the voice of courage whisper in my ear? If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge, where fools and dreamers dare to tread. I'd never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? If I were brave.
Brenda,
I just did it.
Thank you, Brenda. Thank you, musicians, and thank you, Sandra. That was just lovely. Thank you. It is often so easy to get tied into the daily facts of life and the daily things we do, and to help us see that in our roles in our lives from a higher perspective. Thank you. Now is our time to give back, knowing that freely we have received and freely we give. So I'd like to invite our ushers to come forward. And while they're coming up, let me remind you that there are several easy ways to give. You can go to our website, give by text, sign up for automatic giving, or you can mail a check. So we bless these offerings knowing that they are blessing the giver as well as the receiver. So let's join together and say our offering blessing. Divine love through us blesses and multiplies all that we are, all that we have, all that we give, and all that we receive. Freely I give, and freely I receive.
I am blessed. I am blessed every day of my life. I am blessed when I wake up in the morning and I lay my head to rest. I am blessed. I am blessed. I am blessed. I am blessed every day of my life. I am blessed, 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 blessed. When I wake up in the morning till I lay my head to rest, I am blessed. I am blessed.
And we thank you, God, for all of these gifts, the gifts of music, the gifts of meditation, the gifts of message, and these monetary gifts, which we know, given in love, given in heart, given in consciousness, multiplies greater and greater in our community and throughout our world. Amen.
Amen.
Mary Sherman is our prayer chaplain today, and she will be glad to meet with you at the end of service in the chapel if you have individual prayer needs. This past Wednesday, we held a memorial service here at Renaissance Unity for one of our beloved congregants, Johnny Huff. It was a warm and uplifting service, and it included comments by Johnny's brothers, his family members, and also many of those here and our congregants who Johnny touched with his inspiring presence. Johnny was a devoted truth seeker, and we know that although his physical presence is no longer with us, we remained blessed by his energy and also the gifts he gave to Renaissance Unity. Reverend David's Lessons in Truth class will be postponed today, obviously, because he is out, a little under the weather, but it will meet next week from 12 to 1 p.m. next Sunday. This Wednesday, October 25th, I'll be kicking off the first of our 4-week series, our Wednesday evening series, and the service, the message that I'll be speaking on is called Messages from the Oracle, Divining Your Inner Wisdom. So as you can see, my husband John and I recently traveled to Greece, and as you may guess from that title, this trip was the inspiration for my message and the service that will be taking place. And I'll be tapping into the power of music, the power of meditation, and also photography to highlight our power of imagination. So again, this is our first Wednesday night service. We'll have 3 more to follow. It'll start here at 6:30. From 6:30 to 7, we'll have pizza and salad to get started. And then from 7 to 7:45, we'll have the service. And it'll be fun. It'll be a time for us to get together, to enjoy community, and to have some inspiration as well. So shake up that routine, come here on Wednesday night, and we'll join together and have some fun and inspiration. On November 1st, Cheryl Jameson will be delivering her service, and then we'll have Pam Ellison and also Jerry Slay. And now I'd like to call up David Kramer. He'd like to talk a little bit on the upcoming Dr. Joe Dispenza workshop.
Good morning. It's all about love. I've had a good life. It's been exciting, lots of opportunities. It's really been wonderful in so many ways, but I, throughout my life, have had long periods of depression. And because of the work I've done with Dr. Joe, I have to tell you that that's changed. In 2007, I met Dr. Joe on the movie What the Bleep. And he and the other quantum physicists were talking to me. He talked about what goes on in your body because of your thoughts and emotions, and waves of excitatory chemicals and waves of depressing chemicals. And I knew he was talking to me, because that's how my body was, and that's how my brain was. And then he raises the question, what is an addiction? And the answer he gives is, if you can't control your emotional state, the chances are you are addicted to it. And, 10 years earlier, I gave up my one and only addiction, drinking. So I had no addictions. But I didn't realize it wasn't just about my drinking. It was about my thinking, being addicted to my thinking in so many ways. And I didn't know. So I'll tell you, at this workshop, you can find change about a lot of things in your life. And it can begin a journey that's a tremendous one. On Friday, November 3rd, 6:30 to 9, and Saturday, November 4th, from 9 to 6, we're going to have an intensive workshop. And we had this last year, and 40 people attended, and it raised the level of energy here for 2 or 3 months. And there's nothing like the group experience. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Actually, I could say much more, but I'm limited in my 60 seconds. And just wanted to say thank you so much. If you have any questions, let me know. This will be in the hall as well as in the newsletter. And God bless. Take care.
Thanks, David. Marjorie Scott and Elaine Slay are looking for volunteers to set up for the Thanksgiving potluck on Saturday, November 18th at 10 a.m. and tear down on November 19th after the luncheon. So please sign up in the fellowship hall. In prior years, as we approach Thanksgiving, our congregation made monetary donations or donated food to feed the hungry. This year's organizer suggested something more personal, which is volunteering our services at the Greater Cleveland Food Bank. So far, there are 7 volunteers, and if you are interested in helping make this project even more robust, please pick up a flyer in the fellowship hall, and we have some back there as well, and complete the tear-off form at the bottom. And please talk to Deborah Mouton. Deborah, you want to raise your hand? With questions, or call 216-287-7967. And before we call in our children, they're waiting patiently. We are also looking for volunteers to agree to take a turn each week of the month, providing small bottles of water for Sunday service. Your help is needed and will be greatly appreciated. And now we welcome in our children.
Good morning. Today in Children's Church, we talked about prosperity, and we talked about the fact that it isn't just what we get, it's what we give to other people. And we could give in the form of money, or we could give our time, or we could give our talent, or we could do service, as some of our adults are going to be doing for the Thanksgiving feast that we're going to have. So we played a couple games. We worked with bubbles, and we passed bubbles back and forth to each other. And the kids really liked that, I think, right? Did you like that, bubbles?
Yes.
And then what else did we have? Do you remember what that big blue thing was called? Allison says he knows.
Daddy is coming up. No.
What was the other activity we had?
There was a pond with ducks in it.
Remember what that pond was called? No, it was called a prosperity pond, right?
It's a duckling pond.
Do you want to say anything? Isla, anything to say? Well, anyway, we had a really good time. Okay.
Okay. The movie is called Happy Birthday, Ellison.
Okay, and we're going to think about ways that we can give to people.
Thank you. And now, to conclude the service, let us join together to sing our peace song, followed by the prayer of protection.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as Creator, and we all are
now join me in affirming what we know to be truth in unity, our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Amen. Thank you for being here today.